Hey guys, what's up? This is Armando for BlazeKick.com, and today I'm joined by Jay. Say
Hey
hi, Jay.
guys.
So, uh, we're here to talk about something other than video games. As you probably know now, because you clicked on the video, we're gonna talk about Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Yay.
And this is gonna be a full spoiler cast, so you've been warned. We're gonna spoil all the film here, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Stop listening to this. Go watch the movie, then come back to listen to our thoughts. Um, and
Or if you just don't care.
yeah, or that, or if you wanna know my opinion about it without spoilers, go read my review. That's on blazecake.com. That's gonna be my shameless plug of the episode. Um, but anyway, again, final warning. This is a spoiler cast for Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, and you've been warned. So, Jay, what do you thought of the movie?
So walking out of the movie, I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. But because it was late, I thought, what, I'm gonna like sleep on it, get all my thoughts together. And after a while, I did notice a couple of problems with it,
Mm-hmm.
but I still really enjoyed it, and that the reviews the movie is getting isn't really justified by how the movie is
Mm-hmm.
in itself.
Okay,
So,
okay, I get that. So I watched the movie a couple of days before the movie actually came out, and I watched it like the night before the reviews went out. Um, yeah, after an end, my first thoughts were, okay, I like this. I thought it was better than Man of Steel, like right when it ended. I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
this is way better than Man of Steel. Then I was on my way back because just like you, it was like late at night. On
yeah,
my way back, on my drive back to home, I was just going through my thoughts. Then when I got home, I'm like, this movie's gonna get a lot of hate. This is gonna be like Men of Steel all over again, where a lot of people, some people really love Men of Steel, and some people just absolutely hate it.
yeah.
And yeah, I was right. The morning after the reviews went out, and yeah, they were all over the place.
Yeah.
But for me, I still stick to my first thought. I liked it. It's not perfect. There's a lot of flaws with it,
Hmm.
but it was a good movie.
Yeah.
It was a good action flick.
Yeah. One thing I remember is that I watched IGN's review of Batman v Superman, and it said it's not fun.
Hmm.
And I watched it. I watched that review before before I saw the movie. So like after I got out of it, I was like, why did they say it wasn't fun?
Fun, yeah. See, that's the thing with reviews. They're just opinions, and
Yeah.
you're never gonna agree with anything.
Yeah.
So a- after I okay, so the morning after, before reading any reviews, I watched the guys from Kind of Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went to a similar showing that I did. It
Mhm.
was like a fan screening before the movie came out. And right like the morning after, they posted their thoughts about it, like non-spoiler thoughts and spoilerish thoughts. Um, and yeah, they were just the same as what most reviewers would in the end go to. What one guy liked it, and one guy really didn't like it, and yeah, well, and I knew this was coming. I knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Um, so let's talk about the actual fight, the Batman v Superman part. Did you like it?
When Batman fought Superman.
Yeah, the actual fight.
Um. So I don't know. Getting into like big spoilers here. It to me when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is really cool. But it didn't feel like Batman versus Superman. It felt like Batman versus kind of Superman. I mean, he didn't really want to fight
Fight him, yeah.
Batman. So it didn't feel like an actual Batman fighting Superman. It just felt like Bruce, I don't want to hurt you, and Batman was just like,
Yeah. Then Superman got mad and then he just went at Batman. But still, yeah, I agree with you. Um, but at least that whole sequence was entertaining.
yeah, it was
That's something.
definitely entertaining.
Yeah.
And uh, it was like the seeing how Batman won in the end was just really cool to see. And I remember when I saw that, I just had a huge smile on my face.
Yeah, same here. Same here. I'm all like, yes, I know who won. I was actually afraid of that. I was afraid before going into the movie. I was afraid of them just resolving the issue of like no one wins. It's a draw. Let's team up together and beat the bad guy. You know.
Yeah.
I thought that was how it was gonna go. It was gonna play out. But I'm glad there was actually a winner, and I'm
hmm
glad it was Batman. Sorry,
hmm
I'm glad it was
Like
Batman.
like Batman would have killed Superman if it
Oh
weren't for
yeah,
Lois running in.
yeah. By the way, how what are your thoughts about how the fight actually stopped? That fight versus Batman versus Superman.
Like how
Yeah, like Martha. Who's
oh
Martha?
Um, I thought that was interesting. I was seeing so many reviewers say like I hate it because it's like, oh, we have the same mom, blah 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 blah. But I saw it a different way. I saw that like it wasn't that they have the same mom, but the fact that like Superman had a mom, and like the fact that they had the same name kind of snapped Bruce out of it and was like, oh my God, he has a mom,
Okay.
he's human, because like you could see like throughout the whole movie the reason Batman wanted to fight Superman is because like Superman was like a god
Yep.
among human, and so like it was like a humanizing thing that humanized Superman, and I just liked it because of that. So
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on that, but I also felt it was kind of like, that was like the first time during the movie where I was like, really, you
yeah.
really did that? Um, yeah, that's like my least favorite part about how the fight played out. But hey,
Mhm.
at least we know that Batman would have killed Superman.
Yeah.
Um, so okay, so now that we're still talking about Batman versus Superman, them against each other. So throughout the trailers, they played out like a lot of their. It was going to be the movies was going to be about like their different ideologies of how to approach the a situation, right?
Yeah.
And that didn't really get developed like that much. I
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be that way, but when damn it, where was it? When Superman went to DC and then the building blew up.
Yeah.
That's when all of that stuff that was seeded before the movie came in the trailers went out the window. And then they just
Yeah.
forgot to mention it. I don't know how you
Yeah.
feel about that.
um I don't know. I'm just trying to think about what you said. Like, I agree that it wasn't like the fight seemed more like a conflict of ideologies in the trailers, and it didn't really, because I think that the movie, the fact that Lex was in it and that like it couldn't really do its job to show a conflict of ideologies with Lex in there, and like what he did to Superman, because like he had his mom and he manipulated him to go fight Batman, and it was just a different feel to the fight than what we expected, and
Hmm.
I was kind of upset about that. But um, that does bring me to something that I will talk about later,
Hmm.
about Lex Luthor. Um,
See, I was
but
expecting something that I think it will probably get addressed in like Captain America Civil War, where Iron Man and Cap's ideology clash together, and then they
Yeah.
just have to choose a side. I thought it was going to play it out that way. I'm
Yeah.
sad it didn't because the trailers um, really convinced you that it was going to be like that,
Yeah.
but nothing really happened. And about that scene where the building blew up, um, I was I okay, when I was watching, I'm like, yes, I want him to speak about this problems. I want him to say what he thinks about other people attacking him for just saving people, you know.
Yeah.
But again, they just blew up the building and then they just threw out that idea out of the window.
Yeah. Something that I caught on to, by the way, was I remember when Lex was going, he speaks to his like secretary or assistant, and he's like, I think he says like, "Keep my seat warm for me" or something like that.
Save my seat. Yeah, he's all like, save my seat.
Um, I leaned over to my friend that was with me, and I was like, "Did he say keep my seat warm for me?" Because like explosion, I thought he said that in like a jokey way, but
Hmm.
um, I don't know.
Yeah,
But we're getting off track.
yeah.
Um,
I was actually looking forward to just seeing Batman talk. I mean, Superman talk to the Congresswoman and
yeah,
explain his side of things. But
yeah, but then it was just like an explosion, and it
yep,
never really got resolved. Maybe it'll get resolved in Justice League.
maybe. But oh, and I also like the only thing I liked about that scene was when the actual building blew up and then Superman was like crying.
Yeah,
That moment was like powerful to me.
yeah.
Um, then I was gonna say something about my last point. Okay, so one of the reasons, okay, I'm one of the people that don't like Man of Steel. The reason I don't like it is because Superman destroys like everything, destroys
Yeah,
Metropolis. So I was looking forward to seeing him, uh, seeing the aftermath of Man of Steel, and we did in a way, but again, it all ended when the building blew up.
yeah. I think that they did a good job. Like at the beginning of the movie, they explain like why the like why there needed to be so much destruction. And it was because like so Batman could like Batman saw Superman as like this destructive being that needed to go down because he was, you know.
Mhm.
But and then you go to the final fight and there's just so much destruction in that,
Destruction, yeah,
and you
but
wonder like,
but
well,
hey,
what's the point?
yeah, but hey, they they did mention that, oh, the streets are, I mean, it's late at night, so they must be all asleep. And then when Doomsday went to he came back from space, they landed on an empty island to avoid all that. Remember?
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
so at least they thought about it in a way,
But
because
they didn't really do that good of a job to cover it up.
yeah, come on,
They kind
just
of like gave it like a band-aid, just like here you go.
yeah, yeah. It's like those TV shows where like superhero TV shows, or yeah, like at night, no one's in the streets, just the
Mhm.
superheroes fighting. Like
Yeah,
I'm talking about like Arrow and all.
yeah,
It was kind of like that.
yeah.
Um so what you thought about the opening of the movie?
Uh,
Bruce's origin story, and then the actual opening of the movie where they showed like the last scene, well, the fight between Superman and Zod, but in Batman's
yeah.
perspective.
I thought that was really cool because it did show and explain why like why there needed to be so much destruction and just like what it was like looking at it from a civilian's perspective and all the damage that it did to civilians.
Hmm.
I mean, it kind of showed that in Man of Steel, but I mean, it showed more destruction. And I mean, just like when Bruce is on the phone with his friend and you just like see his friend die because of the fight between Superman and Zod,
Hmm.
it just showed like how much how destructive Superman was. Um, it was really funny though when the movie opened when I was there. It didn't really like usually when I have like when there are like when I go to movies, they usually like say, "And now your feature presentation" or something.
Mm.
It didn't when I went to see the movie, and it just like from trailers directly into the movie,
Oh,
and it
really?
started by showing off the DC logo and Warner Brothers, so I thought it was another trailer.
Trailer? Yeah.
So, but then when I heard Bruce, I was like, "Oh wait, we're watching the movie. What?" So it kind of threw me off, and I wasn't really paying too much attention there. But I think they did a really good job. Here's something that I did really like. I really liked the shots for the parent like Bruce's parents' murders.
Okay. Yeah.
Like when the guy had the gun like in the pearl necklace,
Hmm.
and then the gun like broke the necklace and it snapped because of the recoil from the gun. I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I really like that scene. I really like the opening sequence of the
yeah,
film. And about the uh that Superman versus Zod fight in Batman's perspective. That was really awesome.
yeah,
I was literally just like, oh my god, this is so awesome.
yeah.
Um, so before we get into more topics that we want to hit and during the spoiler cast, what you think of Superman in this movie? Just Superman overall,
Um,
and then Batman.
well, the thing is that I feel like Superman, looking back, didn't really play as much of a role as I thought he would. I mean, he was there, but I mean, it felt more like Batman's story than
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's
Superman's
what I
story.
thought. Yep.
Um, like it was like his story of trying to like deal with this new alien problem that was Superman, and like it and like the events of Man of Steel bled into Batman versus Superman, but it was just kind of like um it didn't really feel like Superman had as much of a heroic presence as Batman did.
Mm,
Um, like he in the opening scene with like the Middle East thing, there was that, and then there was when Superman appeared and tore the top off the Batmobile. But those, besides the final fight and the Doomsday fight, I think that's pretty much all we got to see from actual like Superman like in combat, I guess.
yeah.
Um,
What about
the
Batman?
rest was, huh?
What about Batman?
Batman got, uh, uh,
He got a
I mean,
lot of screen time.
yeah, he did. Um, like they showed, uh, like the dream sequences, and I think that the reason they did that is because, with Batman, they didn't really establish his character yet, so they needed to establish his character. And I think if they had made a movie with standalone Affleck Batman,
Hmm.
then it probably would have uh, the movie would have seen an equal amount of Batman and Superman.
Mm.
But because they needed to build Batman's character in this universe,
Yeah,
they needed to give him more screen time.
I'm okay with that. Because to be honest, Batman is the best thing about the movie.
Oh no, I agree, definitely.
Yeah. Um. So I like Superman in it, but I'm with you. It felt more like a Batman movie than anything else.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are saying that.
Hmm. Yeah. Um. So and about the Batman dream sequences. Did you like those?
Um,
The Science
yeah,
2, Dark Side, and all that. Did you like that?
yeah, I thought that was really cool, and I think there was one with the Flash in it as
Oh
well.
yeah, yeah. We'll save that for later because I want to talk
Okay,
about that. That one was like really big. Um. So um. Let's hit the ending part of the movie. Or
okay,
no, let's talk about Lex. We haven't talked about Lex.
okay.
We just thought about Lex.
Um, so as the movie started and they introduced Lex, I was like, okay, this is not the Lex Luthor that I thought that I was hoping for. It kind of seemed like he was Lex's son,
It
and
is.
he did say in the movie like, my dad is the Lex behind LexCorp.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, okay, he seems like he's Lex Luthor's son
Yeah.
instead of.
He reminded, yeah, when they introduced him, he reminded me of Okay, have you seen the Social Network?
I haven't.
Okay, so he basically plays Mark Zuckerberg in the
Okay.
beginning of when they introduce him as Lex Luthor. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm like, oh
I
yeah, this
still.
is this is a this is a guy that owns it. It looks like that guy owns his own website and has like a hip place to work at. Kind of felt like that.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I was hoping that Lex would be more of like a a businessman type, but he kind of seemed more. I can't really think of the word,
Hmm.
but he was kind of more. What would the word be? Um, I guess more upbeat, maybe.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. Luthor seems more like a sophisticated businessman.
Yeah, and a serious businessman. This guy was like energetic all over the place.
Hmm. Like like when I see Lex Luthor, I would think that he'd be someone that would like uh work with Bruce Wayne on a business project or something like that,
Hmm.
which I couldn't really see in this movie.
Yeah. Okay,
Um,
I get that.
and I don't really think that it was Jesse Eisenberg's fault, and we'll go into that later. But I just think that the character uh what I did notice though was that he was manipulative when he needed to be, and
Yeah.
that's something that Lex Luthor is, which I thought was really good. Just he didn't really seem as sophisticated as you'd think him to be.
Hmm. So I like this character. I know a lot of people are in between. They either hate it or like it. I liked it. Um, up until the end. That's when the character actually fell apart to me.
Are you talking about when he was in jail screaming at
No, before
Batman?
that, when he came out to the top of the building and then confronted Superman, I'm like, oh, damn it. This feels like a comic book. Feels like a TV show. It felt like a TV show, or
Yeah,
one
I
of
get what
those,
you mean.
or it felt one of those movies where the villain reveals all his plans at the end.
Yeah,
Kind of felt like I'm like, why?
I get what you mean.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, I like that Jesse Eisenberg's performance as Lex. But yeah, we'll get more into that later.
Yeah.
So about the end, Doomsday.
Yes.
Thoughts about Doomsday?
Um.
Go.
Okay. Here we go. I thought when I was watching it, I was like, okay, this fight is really cool. But as I got home after the movie, I was like, okay, what purpose did Doomsday really serve? And then I thought, well, he kind of serves the purpose of just being something for Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman to team up and fight
Mm.
in the end. I mean, what did he have to do with the plot besides the fact that oh, we have to team up and fight him, right?
Yep. I think he's only there because there was no way that Lex would take all of them at the time. At the
Yeah,
time, so they had to have like a huge monster. Let's say a Hulk of some sorts,
yeah,
that can just destroy
yeah,
everything. And the only way to stop him is to get the other guy that has like God power to stop him.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm with
So,
you. I mean, all the action sequences with Doomsday were nice.
mhm.
But yeah, at the end, I was like, eh.
Yeah, I agree. Um,
It was a lot more entertaining than the Sod fight. I really hate the Batman versus Sod fight in Man of Steel.
you mean Superman versus Zod?
Oh yeah, Superman versus Sod. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. That was that dragged on for a long time.
Yeah, I can see why. Um, I mean, when I saw it in theaters the first time, I think I've only seen the movie Man of Steel once, but I do remember enjoying it. But I'll have to watch it again
Oh
and
yeah.
see what I think about it. But at the time, I did enjoy it. So,
Mhm.
um, but I did enjoy this movie a lot better.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. So, um, anything more to say about Doomsday?
Not really. I mean, he showed up right at the very end. He kind of felt like the Green Goblin in Amazing Spider-Man 2,
Oh
where he just
yeah,
like showed up right at the end.
yeah, and then got killed. Yeah,
Yeah,
or beaten in Amazing Spider-Man. Oh my God, I'm getting
yeah,
confused with all these superhero names.
yeah.
So the big, I guess, twist about the movie, Superman's death. Thoughts about that?
Um, I was like, okay, when he was like killed and all that, I was like, okay, knowing that there's a Justice League movie, I don't believe that he's going to stay dead
Yeah.
like throughout the whole thing, and I was like thinking that if we hadn't have known, it would have been more of a shock to me.
Hmm.
So I was kinda I wasn't surprised when at the end, if you remember, like you could see like the dirt on the coffin, just
Rising.
like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So when the actual like death of Superman happened, I'm like, wow, they really did it. But then again, I remembered, okay, they have Justice League coming up next year. Something's gonna happen. He's gonna be alive.
hmm
Then it cut to the funeral. I'm like, oh shit, this is really happening.
hmm
And uh, there was no way that he was gonna remain dead at the beginning of this cinematic universe
yeah,
for its entirety. But um, I'm really I don't know. I'm conflicted about the last scene when the dirt rises. I'm like, did you really have to add that?
yeah. I mean, it kind of felt a bit like a cop out.
Yeah, no, it did. It did. That's and that scene is just there, probably just to let the viewers that don't follow the comic books, movies, schedules, and all that this character is not dead.
Yeah,
He's gonna come back eventually, but he's not dead.
yeah.
That's
Um,
that's the only reason they did that. I can't see. I can't make sense of another reason for them to
mm.
do that.
It was like at the end of, I think in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they have like so and so will return at the end of
Yep, it was that.
the movies. I think it was kind of like that.
Yep, it was that. It was like that. I was actually expecting them to do something like that at the end of the
Mm.
credits, but yeah, when the credits ended, I'm all like, yep, that was their sign to tell the regular viewer that Superman is not dead. He's gonna come
Yep,
back.
yep.
Um, now, okay, another thing that happened at the. Well, hold on. Let's okay. So I was gonna go to another topic, but we forgot to talk about Wonder Woman.
Right.
And since we're gonna talk about Wonder Woman, we'll transition to our thoughts about how this movie kind of build up the DC cinematic universe. So first, let's start off with Wonder Woman. What you thought about
Um,
Wonder Woman?
I thought she was, I thought she was really good. Gal Gadot did a great job as Wonder Woman. Um, but I think I was kind of thrown off guard, like slightly that she had an accent. I didn't expect her to have an accent. I don't know why. Um, but I just didn't. Um, I chuckled at the part where when she first appears and they're like, "She with you?" I thought she was with you. Um, that was funny.
Yeah,
Um,
but wasn't that seen in one of the trailers?
yeah, it was. So
It didn't really do it for me in the trailers, but it did it to me
yeah,
this time. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I think it did it for me more in the trailers because
well,
one,
yeah, that
Bruce Wayne knew who she was.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Never mind. Yeah. But for some reason, I liked it. I didn't really have a problem with that line in the movie. But yeah, now that I think about it, w- yeah, Bruce knows who she is. She saw her
Mm,
costume and everything.
yeah, in the security thing.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Well, my opinions about Wonder Woman. I liked her. I liked
Mhm.
the scenes that she was in. Um. Kind of bummed out that she didn't have a lot of other scenes.
I think
Um.
that, sorry, I just think that most of her scenes actually were in the trailer.
Yeah. Except one
Yeah,
or two actually. The death and then the one when where she's watching those security clips for the other guys.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was it. But most of the stuff are is in the trailers.
yeah.
Um,
So I mean, um, they kind of showed a lot, uh, for Wonder Woman, and that was kind of sad because we didn't really get to see anything new from
yeah,
Wonder Woman in the movie.
I was expecting her to have her own like little side plot going on in the
To set
movie.
up for the Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, and you know the only setup for that movie is just a picture. That's it. That's their only setup.
Yeah, I know.
Which yeah, it's kind of sad, but oh
Mhm.
well. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I really liked Gal Gadot's performances as Wonder Woman. It
Mhm.
really bummed me out that they never addressed her by her name.
Yeah.
Only when
Well,
she
I
was
think when
getting
she
it.
got off the plane, they were
Yeah,
like, "Oh, Miss Prince."
yeah, that was it. That was it. That was the only time they called her by name, and not
Yeah,
even Anna. It's just like Prince, Miss Prince. That's it.
yeah.
Um, so thoughts about when Wonder Woman showed up to fight
In
against
in the
Doomsday.
final fight,
Yeah.
I thought it was I thought it was cool. Just as we pointed out, it was in the trailers, so it wasn't really anything new.
Yeah.
My friends next to me were freaking out because they're fans of Gal Gadot,
Hmm.
but um, I was just like, um, I was just like, well, we saw this in the trailers. It's cool because, this is the first time we've seen her in combat, in like seeing her,
Yeah,
air
and it
quote.
was, and then it was like the first time where we saw the Trinity on
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
So that was awesome just for those moments. But I don't know. I had a problem with it just because I thought it didn't feel earned. You know, we barely know these characters or one of them. We kind of know about Batman, but not really.
Yeah.
And when they came together to fight against the big bad of the movie, um, I don't know. It just didn't feel earned. And I'm talking in the way that, that in Avengers, that shot where the camera spins around all the Avengers. You know,
Hmm.
they wanted
Yeah.
to do something like that.
Yeah.
And in Avengers, it felt earned because you knew about their path leading up to the
Like there was so
Avengers.
much build up to
Yeah,
it, and it like finally paid off.
yeah,
With
and in
this, it
this,
was like, well, the only build up was Man of Steel.
yeah, and the only one that knew about her was Bruce.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
oh well.
I feel like when Justice League comes out, well, I mean, it's coming out next year,
Yeah.
so there won't really be that much of a payoff either because I think, uh, does Justice League come out before or after Wonder Woman next year?
It's before. I think it's the next one is Suicide Squad, then Justice League, then Wonder Woman. Um.
Yeah, so, I mean, there won't be anything to set up
Oh no
for,
no 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 no! Actually, it's Wonder Woman then Justice League because Wonder Woman is shooting. I think they're shooting now or starting to shoot,
okay.
and then Justice League is barely starting production and all that. But still,
it won't feel it probably still won't feel as much of a payoff.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, we'll know
we
about
did,
her. We'll know about her. We'll know her origins in this universe, but
yeah.
that's about it.
Um, and I mean, like we got like some glimpses into
Other
the
heroes.
Flash, Cyborg, and Aquaman as
Aquaman.
well.
Yes.
But the Flash was just like a short little thing inside a convenience store.
Yeah.
Um, Cyborg's is really cool.
Yeah. You do you think they did that for a reason? You know how the Flash's like security footage thing only lasted a couple, probably less than a minute. Then Aquaman's lasted a bit more because, of course, he had to look at the camera
Hmm.
before destroying it and swimming away.
Yeah.
Um, gotta get a full shot of that awesome costume, so that's why they did that.
Yep.
And then Cyborg got more screen time than them. Do you think they did that on purpose because a lot of people don't know who Cyborg is?
Yeah, probably. Well, um, some people may probably know him because of Teen
Teen
Titans.
Titans, yeah, but not a lot of people will though.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I mean, now Teen Titans is I think it's like a 15-minute show each episode
yeah,
on Cartoon Network.
yeah. Um, but because Cyborg got basically he got like his own short origin of how he
Yeah,
was built and all that.
yeah,
So um, that was cool. You know what I liked? I liked in that security footage of Cyborg and then his dad. Um, on the corner it says Star Labs. I'm like, yes, this is
I
cool.
didn't even notice that.
No, it says Star
No, I did
Labs.
not notice that it said Star Labs.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah, it says Star Labs. I saw that because I saw it in IMAX. I just saw the Star Labs uh, font over there in the corner. I'm like, yes, this is awesome. Finally, DC Universe
Yeah.
is coming together.
I mean, we did get a bit more of the Flash in Bruce's dream.
Yeah, that was so confusing. I mean,
Um,
it was cool. It was cool. Just 'cause you saw the lighting. I mean, you saw like I'm trying to remember how it went. Like he was trying to
he
crack down.
appeared and he was like you're right about him.
Yeah, Lewis Lane is the key.
Yeah,
Don't trust him or something.
yeah,
And then he just disappeared. But oh man, that was so awesome when he appeared.
yeah.
Um, he was in full costume, which was awesome. Um,
So here's what I'm hypothesizing. Just think about this right now. I have a feeling that that is the Flash from Justice League going back to warn Batman about Darkseid.
Darkseid, yeah, that's what I think. But okay, so let's stop. I want to dissect that scene and the hints that he gives because there's a lot to talk about
Mhm.
that topic. But before doing that, when before that scene started, like Bruce was trying to hack into the USB drive that he got from Lex Luthor.
Yeah, yeah,
Then it looks like he fell asleep, right?
yeah. Hmm.
And then I thought first I thought the whole Flash thing was a dream, you know,
Hmm.
because when the Flash disappeared, Bruce they edited it in a way like it appeared like that Bruce had woken up from sleep.
Inception.
Yeah, yeah, kind of like that. um, so that was a bit confusing to me,
Yeah,
but the whole scene, man, a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of
yeah.
potential theory material.
Hmm. Hmm.
So uh, mm, so the first part that he said, it was he was wrong, right? That's what he said.
Yeah.
Who do you think he was talking about?
I don't know.
And then the other part that he said, Lewis Lane is a key. What is he talking about?
Um,
First,
like,
I first thought he was talking about the events that were about to happen with Doomsday, but
well, I mean,
that's
she
fine.
didn't really have anything to do with that besides the
Getting the
fact that,
spear,
yeah,
but
there's
yeah,
something I just remembered this. There's something that I didn't like about that scene, but think we're going. There's another thing on our list that we're gonna get into
Yeah.
about. So
Mhm.
I'll talk about it then. Um,
Then the
but
last thing was don't trust him.
yeah.
I don't think it was talking about stuff in Batman versus Superman. I'm with you. I think
No,
it's
I think
just stuff leading up
he's
to
coming back from the
Ju-
events of Justice
Justice
League.
League.
Yeah, and it would be really cool if in the Justice League movie he runs back through time and you
Oh
see that
yeah.
scene again just from Flash's perspective instead of Bruce's perspective.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I like how I don't know. I'm excited for the DC universe.
Yeah.
I like their diverse set of characters. You know,
Hmm.
Batman, the Dark
Hmm.
Knight, Superman, Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, the uh, goddess Amazonian, and Flash represents time and speed. Then
Fastest
Cyborg,
man alive.
technology,
Yep.
and Aquaman,
Aquaman,
the sea,
King,
King
King
of
of
the
the
Sea.
Sea.
There's a lot. It's so cool. Just
Hmm.
think about the stuff that they can do with it.
Yeah.
But now the question is, do you think this movie set up the DC universe correctly?
Um, I, um, I think that it gave way too much time to Batman.
Hmm.
And I mean, like, it was like, if you look at it, it's like Batman's the biggest chunk, and then you got a little bit of Superman, a smaller bit of Wonder Woman, a smaller bit of Cyborg, then I think it's Flash, and then Aquaman
Hmm.
at the very end, just a tiny bit. So, um, like, they didn't really give each of them an equal amount of screen time to like so it didn't really build up
Hmm. So
anything. I mean,
did it live up to
it would have
the
been hard
subtitle?
to have put them all in the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, because we don't even know anything about those characters. I mean, we know who they are, but we don't know
Yeah,
them as
but like,
characters.
I mean, we're going into um, at this point, we're going into Justice League without a Flash origin story, uh, without a
Cyborg,
Aquaman origin story. We got a tiny bit of Cyborg,
Cyborg,
but
but
like
not really.
not
Like
really.
we probably the audience doesn't know that how he was hurt,
Yeah.
what's happening to him, and all.
Like why what's going on? We just know like, oh, he's now a cyborg.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but do you think the movie lived up to its subtitle, the Dawn of Justice?
Um, I think that I think that the movie itself felt more like a Dawn of Justice movie than it did Batman versus Superman.
Hmm.
Um,
It could have been named Batman Dawn of Justice.
I think just calling it Dawn of Justice,
Yeah.
it would have been,
No, they probably have to add either Batman or Superman on there. Just
or just like DC's Dawn of Justice or
uh,
something.
I don't know. It felt more like a Batman movie. So one of the last scenes of the movie where Bruce and Diana were talking about getting these metahumans or people like
Yeah.
her together.
Mhm.
What do you think of that?
Um, it kind of felt like that Iron Man thing, like that thing at the
Yeah,
end of Iron Man where Nick Fury comes in and is like,
it did.
I'm Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Have you heard about the Avengers Initiative? Or I'm here to talk about the Avengers Initiative, and then like cut to black at the end of Iron Man.
That was
That's
Iron
what
Man
it.
2. That was Iron Man 2.
Are you sure? I felt like.
No, Iron Man was when he just showed up at Tony's
Yeah,
house, and he's just
that's what I'm talking about.
no, but he didn't mention Avengers. He's all like, you're now you're part of a bigger world thing you thought it is, or something like that."
Are
Then
you
he meant
sure he didn't mention the Avengers?
no, he mentioned the Avengers Initiative at the end of Iron Man 2. Uh, yeah, I think it was because the Incredible Hulk had already passed. So yeah,
Oh,
I'm pretty
hmm.
sure. Or Never mind. No, because the after credit scene for
Iron Man 2 was Thor.
Thor. So it must have been after. No,
It was after Iron Man. They talked about
was it?
uh Iron Man being a part of the Avengers in Iron Man 2, and he was accepted into it, but Tony Stark wasn't.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, yeah, I remember now. I
And
think.
they were just talking like they added on to it, but like the first time they actually like mentioned it was when he showed up at his house. I think it was just like a brief mention of it.
Mm. It's been so long. Uh, okay. Someone out there is
Eight
yelling at us.
years. It's
Yeah,
been 8 years.
yeah. Someone out there listening to this is yelling at us because we're getting everything wrong.
Yeah,
Let us know if we're wrong and correct us. But let's go back to our topic.
yeah,
So the last scene, it felt like that moment in.
yeah. Just
Uh,
like assemble these metahumans.
mhm.
I don't know. It just felt like you know, get them to like he was just I don't know. It just kind of felt forced because like
Oh,
oh we got to get
super
them
forced.
together.
It felt super forced.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he's all like, there's more people like you out there.
yeah,
We got to get them together. And then she's all like, why? Is something wrong? And he's all like, no, but I think it's something will. I don't know, something along
yeah.
those lines. Yeah, it felt kind of forced.
Well, I mean, to be fair, maybe he's thinking about how when the Flash came back.
Or the when he visited Luther when he was in jail. Remember?
Yeah,
Where Luther was
or
like Lex was like completely like crazy at that point, and he's all like,
mhm,
"Oh, he's coming!
yeah,
The 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 god is dead. He's coming!" And all. Yeah,
yeah,
remember? Yeah,
yeah, or just that dream, the nightmare dream,
the nightmare. Yeah.
the nightmare dream. Good job. But
There's a lot of things hidden in that nightmare dream.
yeah,
I just want to go watch it again and just be on the lookout for those Easter eggs. Those.
just like forget about plot and just have like an eye open for yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Uh huh. So, DC Universe, well, for me, it did feel forced. Of course,
Yeah.
it was like the only way to do it because everything, like all the world building, universe building was supposed to be in this film, and
Mm,
uh, I know
yeah.
I'm okay with the way they did it, but I'm not a
Hmm.
huge fan of it. Even in
Yeah.
my review, I mentioned that it felt super forced, and yeah.
Hmm.
Um, but at the end, I'm more excited to see more of this universe,
Yeah. I
see
mean,
see how it
um,
develops.
yeah, for fans who like know about the Justice League, I
Oh
feel
yeah.
that when we see Justice League and them all come together, it'll be like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Hmm.
I don't know if it'll get that Avengers feel because the Avengers like it had this whole setup thing, and I don't know if the DC
I think it
cinematic
will.
universe will live up to Marvel's.
Okay, yeah, okay. That's another thing. That's probably like another huge topic for another time.
Mm.
Um, but going back to the Avengers feel that you mentioned, I think it will once we see all the characters on screen.
I
Uh,
mean, we don't know, right?
well, people that know these characters that know about it are gonna feel that
Yeah,
feeling they had when all the Avengers were in one scene fighting against the bad guys.
yeah. I mean,
That's gonna happen. They're gonna
to
have
be,
their money shot.
to be fair, when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, it had that feeling, and nobody really knew about uh the Guardians of the Galaxy,
Hmm.
but they still had that money shot.
Yeah, it's a different thing though.
Yeah, it's a completely different thing.
Guardians of the Galaxy is like before the movie, it was like really niche.
Yeah,
Just a couple of comic book fans knew about it
yeah,
or knew they existed.
yeah,
It's a completely different thing.
yeah.
Plus, there's a lot of people that just like DC, so they're
Hmm.
gonna get their moment.
Yeah.
Um, so let's see. Let's just move into the acting. What did you think about Ben Affleck as Batman?
Stole the show.
Yep, completely agree.
So good.
Yep.
Um, I think that he's either tied with or just a tiny bit better than Christian Bale for me. I mean Christian Bale was amazing as
Yeah.
Batman.
Well,
So,
there's in some ways. Okay, so I think it's still too early for me to decide which Batman I like more.
yeah, I mean
Cause
it was just I mean it was just one movie, but
yeah.
what he had shown is
Oh yeah,
was
no, yeah, he was top notch. He was excellent.
yeah.
He was the best part about the movie.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and I like how the Batman in this movie is like mature. He's experienced.
Hmm.
He there's a lot of people hating on him because he kills people, but
Hmm.
um, that kind of bothered me when he killed someone. But I'm like, okay,
I don't really think that any of it was really was besides the nightmare thing. I don't really think any of it was like direct, like I'm gonna shoot you thing.
do you remember that big fight in the when Batman was trying to rescue Superman's mom? He killed those guys.
Are you sure?
He exploded the building.
That's true.
He burned that guy alive. Then
Oh
the
yeah,
building
that's true.
exploded.
That's true.
And remember that scene where when he had the Batmobile when he grabbed one of the cars and then just dragged it all the way and then dropped it on top of another one. He killed them.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, like a lot of the deaths were just like, oh, there's an explosion and you happen
Yeah,
to be in it, so you're gonna die.
yeah.
But
So I mean, I can see why a lot of people are angry, especially if they're like super like into Batman and
yeah, and like
they
Batman's thing is like he doesn't kill.
he doesn't kill. Yeah, and a lot of people are comparing it to like uh Captain America. You know,
Mhm.
a lot of people think he doesn't kill, but Captain America kills.
Well, I
He's a
mean, Captain
soldier.
America's a soldier,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. He's a soldier.
Um,
Um, but yeah, I'm okay with it. I guess. I mean,
I mean,
this universe is supposed to be more grounded in reality,
yeah.
and it happened with Superman. Like he killed a
Um,
bunch of people in Metropolis. So
yeah. Here's something that I heard from watching a review that I thought really made me think, well, okay. It's the fact that like, well, he is experienced,
mhm.
right? Like he's been Batman for a long time.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't
so
think he
like,
even cares at this point. He's like, oh, let me just
well,
pick
like,
that guy.
yeah, I mean, like, just save the day, right?
Hmm.
So,
And what about Henry Cavill?
I thought he was good. He was kind of overshadowed by Batman,
Oh yeah,
but he still did a good job being like as Superman. Um,
and Amy Adams as Lois Lane.
I'm still not buying it.
No, I liked her in this movie.
Um, yeah,
I liked her in Man of Steel. I like the fact that she got.
I don't know.
No, I really like the fact that in Man of Steel she dug through and eventually found out who Superman is.
Well, I
She's
mean,
supposed to
yeah.
be a journalist, and
I mean, no one bought that like a pair of glasses would
apparently they
conceal
do.
Superman's identity.
They do in well in this universe as well, and it did in the comics and it did in the animated TV shows and all that. So
Yeah, but like in reality, I don't
oh yeah,
think
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so that's why I'm glad that she found out
Yeah.
who he was like right away, and it was through her own means she dug all this information and found his secret identity. So
Hmm.
that was awesome, and yeah, I just liked her scenes in this movie because she was being a reporter, you know.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that was I don't know I liked her as Lewis
Yeah.
in this movie. Um, although the only problem I have with it is that you know how I think you were gonna mention it, but you just didn't because we're gonna talk about the things that we didn't like about the movie. Um, it was that scene where she was trying to grab the spear, you know,
Hmm.
And then
Are you talking about when Superman's like, no, I'll take it?
yeah,
Yeah, and then he flies with the kryptonite spear.
yeah, all of that.
Yep.
Or
What?
how he only manages to hear her in every
Yeah,
situation, or at the beginning of the movie.
yeah,
That too.
yeah,
How did he notice that Lewis was in danger?
yeah.
Um, then we have Jesse Eisenberg as Lex.
Okay. Um, so when I walked out of the movie, I was like, I didn't really like it because of his character, but that was just it. It wasn't because of his acting necessarily. It was just because of how the character was written.
Mm,
And like for how the character was written, I think he did a good job. Just it wasn't the Lex like the best Lex that I've seen because it wasn't the Lex that I was hoping for.
mm,
Um, have you seen the show Smallville?
Kinda.
Okay, do you remember Lex from that?
Mm, a
Michael
bit.
Rosenbaum's
Yeah, a
Lex?
bit. A bit.
I think that he did a really good job as Lex Luthor.
Hmm.
And I really liked that version of Lex, and I think he was one of the best Lex Luthors on screen. So, um,
I liked Kevin Spacey's Lex. Remember in Superman Returns? Hmm. That's just me. But okay, I like Jesse Eisenberg's performance.
I feel like you're gonna get a lot of heat because Superman Returns is apparently a bad movie.
Oh, it is. It is a bad movie. I just like the Lex in that.
Mm,
Not that much, but I mean he was okay.
yeah,
But I like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex. Again, the moment it fell apart for me it was when he
yeah,
revealed all his plans to Superman.
yeah.
Like,
But I mean, I did like that he was manipulative in that, and um, he felt more like the manipulative Lex Luthor.
mhm.
But I do agree that it was like, oh, I'm gonna do this and this and this and ha 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 ha.
Yep, exactly. So Jeremy Irons as Alfred. Thoughts?
It's so yeah, I thought he was really good.
Yep, I liked him a lot.
Um
He was a different kind of Alfred, you know.
yeah, I re like um in the in the uh
Dark Knight.
in the Dark Knight trilogy, I really liked Michael Caine's Alfred.
Hmm.
And so after I got out of the movie, I was thinking like which one was better, but they were both two completely different Alfreds.
Oh yeah, completely different.
And I really liked so like I mean I really thought that Alfred um in uh Batman versus Superman was really good for what he needed to be.
Hmm. Hmm. Completely agree.
And Aaron's did a really good job as Alfred. I mean, I don't really have that much to say about him, but
Yeah, well,
I think
he was only in a couple of scenes, and all the scenes. Well, it was mostly scenes with Ben Affleck, and all of them were
yeah.
perfect. They were awesome.
Something
I
that
liked them. I liked them a lot.
I thought was interesting was that he didn't really play the role of a butler, but more of like the role of like Oracle.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Uh,
Um,
yeah,
and he
but
kind of felt like that. He kind of felt like the combination of like Alfred and Oracle. So,
yeah.
um,
Or if you guys watch like Arrow, he was like Felicity, you know.
yeah,
So
Overlord.
yeah, Overwatch. Yeah, I liked his performance as Alfred.
Yeah.
I hope we can see more of him. Um,
Oh, we probably will.
and then Gal Gadot as Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I thought she was really good. Seeing her when she's in like full costume battle mode, I was like, okay, yeah, this is Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
Just
Oh, and she likes to
straight up,
fight. She likes to fight. You know.
she's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that was
Um,
awesome.
yeah,
How it, you know, when Doomsday knocks her back, she knocks her back like couple like two times maybe, and then she's all like, "Oh yeah, let's go again."
Yeah,
I like her. I really liked her.
yeah.
Um, yeah. I
My
just want to
friends
know
next
what.
my friends next to me were like screaming because they're such big fans of her. But
Uh,
yeah,
see,
it was a good time.
yeah. So I'm excited to just learn more about her character.
Yeah, and I'm excited for the Wonder Woman movie coming out next year.
Wonder Woman movie. Yeah, yeah. Um, so overall, like the actors were really good in the movie. Just a couple of stuff that didn't really.
Yeah,
Well, it was mostly the writing and all that.
yeah.
Some stuff didn't really do it, but yeah, they were really good at their jobs, especially Ben Affleck.
I mean, they did what was expected of each of them,
Yep. Hmm.
right?
Yep. And
Minus a couple of hiccups, but
yeah, and then Ben Affleck just exceeded like everyone's expectations.
yeah,
Yeah, because a lot of people were angry, like mad when Ben Affleck was announced as Batman. So
yeah. But
yeah.
I think his performance proved everyone wrong.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Yeah. So before we close before we end this spoiler cast, can you tell me like a couple of things that you didn't like at all about the movie?
um, what I didn't like, well, uh, like we talked about earlier, I did not like how he was like the kryptonite spear. He just took it and flew with it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and when he started with it, it kind of seemed like he was like out of like he didn't have any power and it was like holding him down. But then like he um just like flew and it's like, well, isn't kryptonite supposed to nullify your powers? What's going on there?
Hmm.
So I didn't really like that. Um, there was something else I wanted to talk about that I didn't really like. Don't remember what it was though. It'll come to me in a second.
Okay, so let me just tell you what I didn't
Yeah,
like about it.
yeah.
Um, so my problems with it, just like there were, the movie had its ups and downs, and unfortunately, the down points of the film are what really dragged it for me. Especially like the universe building that felt really rushed,
Mm,
and I wish they could have done it differently. But mm, to their to be fair, I really doubt they could have done anything else than that because
mm,
then it would have been the mess that a lot of people thought it was going to be with a lot of characters, you know.
yeah.
Um, and then just a couple of stuff with Superman that really didn't really do it for me. Um, but yeah, it was just a couple of things really that I didn't really like.
Yeah.
But again, it does have its flaws. You know, once a movie comes out, once a movie comes out on Blu-ray and digital and whatever home release, basically,
Mm,
uh, I can't wait for the Honest trailer and the Everything Wrong With. That's gonna be fun.
yeah.
Or the How It
Um,
Should Have Ended. I want to see that.
yeah. Um, one thing that I did think about is that the movie kind of uh like jumped a lot between like
Oh
Batman,
yeah,
Superman,
yeah,
sometimes Wonder Woman, but like it just jumped back and forth
yeah.
and
The editing
that's
was kind of off in a couple of
yeah.
parts. Yeah, I
But
agree with you.
it didn't really feel like it was flowing too well.
Yeah,
But I mean, that was probably just editing
yeah.
that made it feel that way. Um,
Plus, they probably had
oh God,
over 3 hours worth of footage for this movie,
yeah,
and they just had to cut it down.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, uh,
Another thing is that when Superman tore off the Batmobile top and he's like, next time that light shines in the sky, don't come to it,
yeah,
and stuff. Um, when Batman did go to it, at the end for the like for the big like Batman versus Superman fight, he didn't really live up to that threat,
hmm,
you know?
yeah,
Like it just kind of felt like an empty threat, and it was just and oh my God, they're gonna fight at the end, you know?
hmm.
Um,
Oh, no, another
so
thing that didn't, or I had a problem with it. You know how in the first trailer when they show the scene where Batman has his the suit that he uses to fight against Superman.
Yeah.
Um, in the trailer, it seems like in that moment, Batman asked, "Do you bleed?" You know.
Mhm.
But it turns out that in the movie it was earlier. It was he asked that when they actually met for the first time.
Mhm.
Um, I wish they would have kept that line to the moment when they were about to fight. But hey, oh well.
Yeah.
Um, so what do you expect from this DC cinematic universe?
Um, I mean, I expect my expectations are, I mean, that it's gonna like I feel that in the end the build like all this build up is going to pay off, but I'm just wondering whether the payoff will be as big and as grand as the Avengers was, but um
Mm,
even still, I do think that the payoff will be good.
yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Um
Um. Well, I'm excited. I'm just excited overall to
yeah,
see more of this
I'm
universe,
just
how they're
curious
gonna
as
handle
to
everything.
yeah, I'm just curious as to like how they're gonna make it work, how like Justice League is next year, and then like after Justice League we get like all the other standalone movies.
Mm, yeah. Um. Yeah. I want to know how that will work
Mhm.
because uh, what are they gonna do in the first movie? Do you think they'll? I really doubt they're gonna fight the dark side in that movie because they're still building the team. Plus, eventually, Superman has to come back from the dead. Um. And they have to build to that. I hope they.
Mhm.
I hope the Justice League Part One is just them going to those Justice League members and trying to convince them to join their cause.
Mhm.
Something like that, and
But
then fight
if
then
they
fight
do
against
that, then how would it like all come together, you know?
yeah, and then fight against something not as powerful as Darkseid because choosing Darkseid as like your first
It would
Justice
be
League
like that would be like
on
Avengers
note
fighting Thanos
in the
in
first
Avengers.
movie. Yeah, exactly. So I just want to know where this story is heading.
I mean, I think that it's heading to dark side, just like the Marvel Cinematic Universe is heading to Thanos.
Well, what's gonna be the um how well it's more important of how the journey that this cinematic universe will take to
Yeah,
get to
yeah,
that
yeah,
point.
of course.
But yeah, we'll see how that turns out. I'm excited for the next DC cinematic universe movie, which is Suicide Squad, and I want to know how
Yeah.
they handle that. All
Um,
that I want to know how if they mentioned the what happened in Metropolis and Gotham and all that.
mhm.
Um,
I have a prediction that at the end, um, Lex and Joker are going to be cellmates.
I hope so. And so my only concern about Suicide Squad is that all the Joker scenes are flashbacks to Harley Quinn's origin story,
Mhm.
and I think that will be it because we don't even know who the villain of that movie is. I really doubt it's Joker.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Enchantress.
We'll find out.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited overall for
Yeah.
this new universe where I just want them to do the Flash right. That's my
I
biggest worry, to be honest. The Flash.
Yeah, I mean, with the CW Flash, and I mean the Flash on the CW is amazing,
Oh yeah, it is.
and just like that show alone set the bar for what the movie should be like.
And it only set the bar because it's a TV show, so they have a lot of more time to flesh out the character,
Yeah,
tackle a lot of more stuff. Yeah, I don't know whether
and also, I mean, movies have a bigger production value, right?
yeah,
So,
and how they're gonna what is Flash gonna fight against? Is he gonna go against Zoom, a reverse Flash, or I mean a Doctor Zoom?
mhm,
But we'll see. Overall, I'm excited for this new universe.
mhm,
I just hope they take care of it and don't abandon it once a movie just flops. So, yep.
yeah.
Um, So, final thoughts about Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice, Jay.
I thought it was really good. I think it's really underrated. It does have its problems, but it is a fun time that any superhero fan would enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if you if you really like Batman, you'll really uh well love because there are some things about Batman that they don't really uh they don't really do
Mm-hmm.
that may piss some fans off, like how Batman kills. But besides that, it's a Batman heavy movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Superman fans will also enjoy it because I know a Superman fan that enjoyed Batman versus Superman. So I mean, if you're a DC fan, superhero fan, Batman fan, anything like that, you'll enjoy the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And um, the fight was a bit underwhelming in terms of they didn't really want to fight each other because of their ideals, but because of the situation put in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
At least Superman didn't. But um, overall, I enjoyed it. What
Okay.
about you?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it's worth experiencing just because it's like the first time we get to see these characters in the big screen, and they fight each other, which makes things like even better. Um, and yeah, just go. Well, you've if you're watching this, you've seen it already. So, but your I would encourage you to tell your friends to go watch it, to have an open mind about it, and just enjoy it for what it is. It's just like a big action movie, and it's a fun movie to just watch. I'm excited to watch it again. I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow. So yeah, yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. Better than Man of Steel, for that's for sure. And
Uh,
that's not
yeah.
really saying much, but yeah.
Well,
uh,
I mean, I liked Man of Steel, and even still, I enjoyed Batman versus Superman more. So,
mhm. Yep.
um,
Well, I think that's it for our spoiler cast for Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. If you guys liked our spoiler cast, just leave a comment on the video. This will only be a video, so yeah, that's the only way you could watch it. Then just we want to know what you thought about the movie. So tell us your thoughts about the movie. Just you can just comment on the video. That's probably easier, or you can just tweet at us. What's your Twitter, Jay?
at Jay Garidian.
Okay, my Twitter is at armsmxz. Blazekick's Twitter is at BlazekickTweet. And if you want to support us on Patreon, go to patreon.com/BlazeKick. And there you'll have access to early, if you become our Patreon, you'll have access to,
Links will probably be in the description.
yep. So if you become our Patreon, you'll have access to early podcasts and a lot more stuff to come. But anyway, thank you
It's a
guys for
great deal.
watching.
You should all do it.
Yeah, listen to Jay. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.